Let's talk about how best to migrate a WordPress website. And I see a lot of these questions. How can I move a WordPress website from one host to another, from a development domain to another, from my local host to a live host online? How do I do this? It sounds really complicated. We got to move databases, we got to move blog posts, we got to move the files behind the website. How can I actually do this? And I think that people think that migrating a WordPress website is a lot more complicated than it needs to be. So you can migrate a WordPress website in 5 minutes and 5 clicks. And I want to show you how to do that. It's free, it's easy, and it's quick. So the tool that we're going to use to migrate a WordPress website is called All-in-One WP Migration, and it's a plugin that you can install to both the website installation which you are migrating away from, and the website where you are migrating your website to. So you install it on both ends of your migration. You export from one end and you import to the other end. And I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit later in this video. So all-in-one WP migration, it's on the WordPress repository, plugin repository. Move, transfer, copy, migrate, backup website in one click. Very simple. 4.5 stars by 6,000 people, and it's been installed millions of times. It works really well. Uh, Before I show you how to do this, I want to go over some best practices for migrating a website. The first thing you need to do is ensure that the PHP version on the website, that the host that you're moving from, and the PHP on the host that you're moving to, the version needs to match up. At the time of recording, the most up-to-date version of PHP is 7.4. So we always ensure that when moving the website away from a host, it's a 7.4 PHP version, and we're moving it to 7.4. And this isn't essential, and it won't, in most cases, it won't completely break your installation, but it's just a best practice. It's pretty simple to do, and it will ensure that you won't break anything. Another thing you really need to do, you have to make sure that the website's actually ready to move. You can get really excited that you just finished your WordPress website on a development host and you're ready to move it to a new host where you're going to point your domain and all that. But if you're not ready to actually move the site, so if you don't know your username and password, if you haven't removed all non-essential plugins, if you haven't taken the proper steps to get a website ready to migrate, you shouldn't be migrating it. So a big thing that you need to do before migrating your website is deactivate every plugin that has to do with Google reCAPTCHA and WordPress security. So we usually install WordFence on our websites, which is a security plugin that stops hacks. But we need to disable WordFence before migrating, and we also need to disable reCAPTCHA before migrating. If these things are enabled, we'll be locked out of the backend of our website, and we can fix this by disabling them in FTP after the fact. But it's just so much easier to click the deactivate button on any plugin that relates to the login security, anything like that, and then just reactivate it after you migrate your website. And we do this because we want to get into the website. When you migrate a website, you need to log back into it, so you should know your username and password, and you should ensure that nothing's going to break during the migration that will make it so you can't get back into your website easily. Um, so now that you understand the things you should do before migration, let's go into actually migrating the site. And to do that, we wrote a guide on our blog, how to migrate a WordPress website in 5 minutes and 5 clicks. But I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that in person. So here I have a demo website, and I'm in the WordPress plugin repository, plugins, add new. I searched all-in-one WP Migrate, and it's the first thing in the list of plugins. Right now it has 2 million active installations. It's been used so many more times because you should delete it after using it. So all you need to do is click install now, and it will install the plugin. What this is doing is pulling it from the repository and adding it to our website, and then clicking activate will activate the plugin. So now we have a active migration tool on our website. So I'm assuming that we want to move this website to another host. So to do that, we gotta hop on into all-in-one WP migration and hit export. And now we're in the export user interface. And this is really, really simple. You don't need to mess around with anything related to this. If you wanted to, there are a bunch of advanced options. So you could find, like, for example, if you're changing your company name, you could look up company and change it with new name, stuff like that. You need to be cautious about this, and you need to know what you're doing. So I always recommend that you uh, don't even mess around with anything related to this. There are also advanced options that you shouldn't really focus on if you're just simply moving a website, but you can do all of this. And now all you need to do is click export to file, and it will download a .wprss file, and that's all you need. Once the file is downloaded, you head over to your new WordPress installation, install the all-in-one WP migration, and go to the import tab. So I'm not changing websites because I'm not actually moving this, but when I would actually be moving this, I would be on a new website where we're receiving. So one thing to keep in mind is that if you're going to migrate from one to another using this tool, you need a WordPress installation on the receiving end of things, and you can install a base WordPress installation, only install this plugin, and that's all you need. Everything will be rewritten, overwritten, but you need a WordPress installation on the receiving end too. So now what I'm going to do is drag whatever .wprs file from wherever I downloaded it to and import it into the website. So I'm importing from a file. If I click this, it would say import from file. It would upload the file. Then it would say, do you want to overwrite this existing website with this new website? Click yes. It will overwrite the website. It might take up to 5 minutes. Once the website's overwritten, it will say, do you want to change your permalinks? And you need to change your permalinks, or at least flush your permalinks to make sure all changes are pushed to the new website. So what you do with that, you go to, and it will direct you, but you'll end up on the permalink section of settings. Um, once you're on this page, all you need to do, you don't need to change anything. All you need to do is click Save Changes, and you'll be good to go. So then your website is migrated to the new server. You need to ensure that everything is working perfectly on the new website. Then you can take down the old website if that's what you're doing. You can delete the local installation if you're moving it from a local installation, but your website will be migrated. Um, that is a really, really quick and simple way to migrate your website. I believe it takes 5 clicks. It takes about 5 minutes. You export the file from one site, you move it to a new site, upload it, you're good to go. It's a very simple process. There's no need to migrate databases. It will automatically change the URL from the old URL to the new URL. There's not really much else you need to do. It's not as complicated as you think. Just follow this guide, black and white. It will tell you what to do. If you need support, head over to our website. You can hit the comment section. You can contact us. We do migrations as a service. If you need migrations and don't want to worry about it, you can hire us to do that. So I hope this video gave you a very brief but thorough overview of how to migrate a WordPress website in 5 minutes and about 5 clicks.